Hello everybody and welcome to a new video to talk about a rapper named Fat Joe. So I want to talk about this because a lot of people, they say, Fat Joe isn't a good rapper and that he sucks and everything, and I see that a lot more. And I want to talk about more rappers and what I think of them and what I think of them of the songs that they make. So first off, to get it out of the way, I don't absolutely think that Fat Joe is the best rapper or even close to one of the best. I personally don't think there is really a best rapper because there are a lot of different sort of subgenres in rap itself. But I do think that Fat Joe is, pretty good rapper. I think he has some pretty good songs, and I think he is, when he started, he was a pretty important rapper. The biggest thing why I think he was important was also because of his group Terror Squad, and indeed his sort of friendship with Big Punisher, and that sort of is a very important thing. So when Fat Joe actually started rapping, when he started, so he's somebody, he's been on the street, or at least he says, and a lot of people believe him and all that thing. So I think that that is an important thing, and he thinks it itself too. I think he thinks that if you rap, like do gangster rap and everything, you really need to have like some street cred, and I think he does it. He does have it. I do believe him in a lot of ways. But you never know. But at least a lot of people say he has it and everything. And there are things sort of crimes where he was like sort of a suspect, but then it was wrong one or like a lookalike or something. It was So his first album that he released was Represent, and this year had a pretty different name. So I am on Wikipedia at the moment, just to show it to you very easily. So this was actually, you see his name right here, it was actually, he had a different name. I think this is maybe the only, or maybe in the second album as well, I'm not sure, but I think this name he doesn't have anymore. So it was Fat Joe the Gangster. Well, no, it's Fat Joe or Don Cartagena. So it was a bit of a different album, and this had a really, you can see all these things on the billboard, but I don't really care about that because he has a newer song that is a hit, All the Way Up it's called. I personally don't really like these party songs. He has more of them, but the thing, like Lean Back was a party song, but Lean Back was in my opinion, a pretty badass song, and I really liked it. But the newer one, I just don't really like it. So here's a bit of information about him. So he's still rapping till this day, but I think he was going to make the Dark Side, I think 4, and I think that was going to be his last album, he said, but I'm not sure. He said it more times, at least what I remember. So this is, I think, I have more favorite albums of him, but this is absolutely one of his top albums in my opinion. It really has some really great songs, and it's just, the lineup of the song is really just really cool. So it starts off with, well, just a bit of like an interlude. It always happens like that, but it starts off with Living Fat, and that is a really cool song in my opinion. And he really he explains some things that even the big thing I think is that even if he's fat, he doesn't give a shit about it, and I think that is a pretty cool thing. That is a song that I really like about this album. I do like Bad Man. I think the second verse I like the most about it. I like Flojo, that is a very popular one. It is something that even in, the album that came after this, he even talked, they were even at like a section in the song where, they said, Flojo, you got Flojo, like that sort of thing. The Fat Gangsta is really cool. What I really like about this album is actually, the beats of a lot of these songs sound very dark. Like they sound, have sort of a creepy vibe to them, what is a pretty cool thing. In my opinion. And the rest, well, you got the Shit of Real, and it is a very good one as well. It basically goes about his childhood, and we sort of became a gangster like in that way. And I think it also explains something, if you wear like I think it was like an army suit, and now you think you're hardcore, something like that. He really he wants the real people. He doesn't want the sort of fake ones. You also got I'm a Hit That, and that is more like a song, love song sort of. Well, not really. It's a pretty weird song in my opinion. I don't think it's a bad song. And the rest of them, when I don't talk about them, that doesn't mean they are bad, but these are the ones that I personally recommend you to listen to. I like these the most. But it is more like it's a bit like he talks about that, but he doesn't really he does it a bit in a different way than other rappers. Like he still needed to learn how to talk about that in a good way. So this was, I think, a very good one, and it started really good. And I think that the newer albums, depending on what one, but are not that great in my opinion. They are not bad albums, but they just have a few good songs. So then this one, and this is indeed the first one where you got Big Pun, and I also think you have I think it says it here, yeah, Watch Out, yeah, Armageddon also with it. So this is, if you know Big Punisher, he was a very good rapper, a very, I think, important one in the Latino rap community, sort of. And they were sort of like twins, they called themselves. So they had like an importance together. So it starts with what a song that I really like, and that's, well, it doesn't start with it, but I mean, it's Success. I think that is a really really good song, and I think what they talk about, I think that is really how it feels, because when you grow up, in sort of that how do you call it, like in sort of the community where you really don't really have a choice to do sort of bad things, just to call it like that. You really need that, because the only way you could sort of make a lot of money is by dealing drugs and everything. So I just wanted to and I like the beat of that song a lot. So Envy, I think, is a song that a lot of people like as well. I personally like that one as well. Yeah, Fat Joe's in Town, I really like a lot, and Pod, well, I don't even know how to speak it, like Dukes, I have no idea, but that one is one that I like as well. I think that is the one. I think that this one or this one of them, it's like the Flojo thing. So you got the Shit Is Real remix. I personally like the original one more. That's my opinion. And well, Watch Out. And personally, Success and Watch Out are my favorite of this album. Watch Out is really good because it got Big Punisher and he got like some really good lines, but Armageddon does a good job as well. He has some really he says some really cool things, and it sort of is a sort of introduction to the crew of Fat Joe. So I think I really like that one. So you see there are quite a lot of albums, and this is the album that a lot of people seem to be I think is the favorite album of him. And this is one of my favorite as well. So the first one and this one at the moment. And there are a few more. So this album is one that I personally think is a very good one, and it really started off really cool, because the Godwin intro really started off what the album was going to be, like a real badass gangster album, really, and that is what it is. And then it starts with the Crack Attack, and that is a really good song. And then it starts with Triplets with Big Punisher and Prospect, and again, it is a really good song, and it really shows that they mean business. I think that is an important thing, and I like a lot of songs in this album. Then you got Find Out, and again, that is a very good one. You got Don Cartagena, what is the name that he uses right now, and with sort of the storytelling that he does is with this character Don Cartagena. But again, and with Puff Daddy, is a really really good one. Then you got My World, and that is one that I personally like as well. It's a bit of a change, because a lot of these are very like sort of have these sort of, I don't know what you call it, like these beats are very different in this song. You got John Blaze, what is a very cool one, because a lot of rappers are on that song, and all of them I think do a very good job at it, and I like that. Then you got, in my opinion, I just talk about the ones that I like. It's Misery Needs Company, that one I like, and it's just very cool in my opinion. And The Hidden Hand, it's it's a song that sort of questions some things that that are important. I think that it's a good one. And then you got the last song in this album, Terror Squadians, and this is with the whole Terror Squad. So basically, you got a lot of rappers in that song. And it is a really, again, it's a good song. I think everyone in Terror Squad, I think all of them do have talent. I do think they are good rappers in there. A lot of Terror Squad is not like complete anymore. Like it still exists, but it's a lot less rappers. What I find sad, because they were a great group. Like they had, they had, I think, 2 albums, and these were pretty, good albums. Like Lean Back was on one of them. So I really think this is a great song. So overall, I think that was a very great album. And then you got Jellen's one, Still Envy, and this is an album that a lot of people like as well. And I personally, I think it's a decent album. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I like Definition of a Dawn a lot, and that honestly really is it. Like I don't like a lot of these songs. I just don't. And that is a personal thing. Like if you like them, like sure, but I'm not a fan of this album, so I don't really have a lot to say about it because I don't listen to it a lot. Like a lot of lyrics, I sort of know, a lot of it out of my head. And you can see, like, it was platinum and everything. Like, sure, but I'm not a fan of that. So then you have Loyalty, and again, an album that I don't really like. I do like Gangsta, I do like The Shit Is Real, Loyalty. Yeah, and that was it, sort of. This is again one that I don't listen a lot to. I just don't really like it that much. I don't really know why I don't, because it's difficult. I think it has less, like it has. I think the beats are, in my opinion, while they are done by good people, they are different. Like I think this album and the album before has a very different tone from the first albums, in my opinion. And you got All or Nothing, and this is one that I again like, but not every song. There are songs that in there that I just don't really like, and this is where the party songs come in. Like you got a lot, like you got Rock Your Body, a lot of them more. So you have My Fofo, the diss to 50 Cent, and I think that is a pretty good diss. It's a solid diss. I like that one. Then you got Temptation Part 1 and 2. I like that one because it's one of the first where I think it's like an ongoing story that he tells, and it's pretty cool. And then you got Lean Back Remix. I personally like the original Lean Back more, but I like the original rappers on Lean Back more, but I do like the beats of this one more. And that's it. For the rest, like you can see already the difference with who he is on like the songs. It's a very different style, but I still think it's a good album, but it's just a different style. And you got Me, Myself and I. That is one that was probably again one of my favorites. It has a it says less quality, but I don't think so. I think it had more gangster songs, really a lot of them. And it starts out with The Pandemic, a song that I like. And then Damn, a song that I like. Then it has, well, many people like Make It Rain. It's a popular song, but I don't like Make It Rain. I'm not the biggest fan of Lil Wayne, but I'm just not a big fan of that song. Jealousy, I do like. Think About It, I do like. Hard Not to Kill, I do like. And Story to Tell. And Story to Tell is a pretty cool one. I like that he tells a story, because he really does, and I like that as a song. Then you got The Elephant in the Room. And this was actually one that I sort of have mixed opinions about. I do like it, and some songs I like, but there are just, you see a lot of songs that are these sort of party songs that I don't really like. Like you got like Ain't Saying Nothing, that's sort of a more party vibe to it. I do like it as a song, so that is one that I like. I like The Fugitive a lot. You got Kill All Rats, that is one that I like, and I like that they got the name like that. My Conscience is cool. I like KRS-One that he's in there, and it's a cool song. And That White is a cool song because it has like this old sort of hip hop beats. I really like that one. Again, this is one, like when you look at reviews, sort of, and a lot of these albums, not a lot of where the reviews are sort of, when you look at it, some people give really low reviews, not right here, but like you see some people give very low reviews, and it has a lot to do also with with the wife of Big Punisher, I think, because about the money situation is like a whole thing going on, and I'm not sure what is the truth or something like that. But yeah, but that is what I, you know, personally feel about it. So then you got Jealous One, Still Envy, and you got like the mixtapes. I'm not a fan of the mixtapes, although the crack era, well, I can't click on it. That's like, I think Joey Got a Gun, and that is one that I like. So you got Jealous One's Envy too, and this is one that again I'm not the biggest fan of. I don't really. Oh yes, Joey, don't do it. Yeah, I mixed it up. I don't know what you have here. I remember that you have like one song that I like. Yeah, like this song, Joey, Don't Do It. I like that as a song. But for the rest, like Porn Star, I think is an okay song. But for the rest, I'm just not a fan of this album again, so I don't listen to it. And you got the Dark Side Volume 1, and this is one that has some pretty, cool ones. Like I like I Am Crack. The only thing that I don't like is every time like you had like the reporter and all that thing in between and like what crack is and everything. Not a fan of that. Personally, and you got I'm Gone, and I'm Gone I think it's a pretty cool song as well. And that basically sort of is it. Like you got the mixtapes. Do not own the third one. So like yeah, this one I do. No, so you got like I think Big Business and Angels Say. These are the ones that I like, but that's it. And like there's nothing really that's special about it in my opinion. Like there really isn't, and I hope that if there's going to be like a fourth one, that it's going to, I think he called it like the Big Punisher chapter, but I'm not sure about that. But I hope that he talks about, his opinion on, his opinion, what he feels about it, and maybe, that he, tells us a bit about, sort of his feelings. Like what I like about him is like he always makes references in songs like you truly be missed, Pun and all these things. So he does do that, but I don't think he really lives on that he's dead, like that he uses it like a thing, because not a lot of songs really go about him. Like I don't think there's really a song that really is only about Big Punisher, and maybe he can do that like just as a last thing. I like that because some rappers, when somebody dies, they really keep going on with it, and I think he sort of left it alone. But it's something that I think is pretty cool of him. I also think it's pretty cool, like he was first of very fat, and basically that he lost weight and everything, and he has his reasons for it, because Big Punisher died because he was, I think, overweight. I think he had a heart attack. Like all these things, I think it's pretty good, and I mean. I think it's an understandable thing, like what you can see. I don't know if it actually says it on Wikipedia. I think it does, but I actually have to go to him as a rapper and not his whole rap. Like you got legal issues that he was like, here you got these things like charged with hitting a man with a baseball bat and stealing the things, and the charges always dropped. And like there was one where his bodyguard and people said that he that he was standing closer and all these things. Like there is some shady things going on, there really is, but I'm not really, it's not sure, and there's nothing like this is the only one I think that he has actually been, he was in jail for, but that's it really. And the whole 50 Cent like feud that they had, it ended like they made a song together. I think I'm Free or something, Free Again, I don't know, I'm not a big fan of that song, but they made it when he got out of jail. And I personally think that he's a pretty, he's a solid rapper. I mean, he has his real reasons. Like I do believe the things that he says, in videos, not everything, but if you know what I mean. Like I know that he sometimes like he tells stories about things, but I think these are influenced by things that really happens. What I like, and personally, like there are people who really hate him, and he has some things. I think that the one thing that Fat Joe really does is he has done songs with so many rappers. Really, he has done. He sort of went with a lot of rappers. And he sort of left, like Terror Squad. He's still in it and it still exists, but he sort of left people who were big in Terror Squad. he sort of left out, because you know they had like a little feud and everything. Like you got the Cuban Link, you know, like this one. You know, I don't know really. I don't know a lot about the situation. Like I've read things about it, like you know, him getting slashed in his face and everything, but not really anything more. And it's something I actually see here, because this is something that we'll talk about just slow. Like you got the Digging in the Crates, and he was actually in it before Terror Squad. He was also in Trinity, I think, before Terror Squad, but he was in there. And if you know read some of his songs, like from Digging in the Crates, you will see some songs where you know Fat Joe, because he was in it, you know, with Big L, and it's pretty cool. There's also a song where Big L is actually rapping with Big Punisher, but it's you know pretty cool that they wasn't like, he has been rapping for a long time at least, you know. I mean, that is pretty cool. Like you can actually see it very easily. So I recommend you know, I talked about the album, so the ones that I you know sort of recommend, I've said you know that I do sort of like, and I think you can check them out. Like you know, maybe just you know listen just to a bit of his song. So I'm probably Represent is you know is a good album. I like it, but the only thing that I say is actually it's a bit different, because it's his first album, so it's a bit different than his newer one. So I recommend you know maybe just because I like Don Cartagena album as well, I think you can start with that one, and then after that maybe do Represent, but just start with you know one that at least is some like, start with like the whole album, just you know, but at least that you know check out some of his songs before you get to some of his newer ones. Like if you the only song that you heard was like All the Way Up, like that isn't his best song. Yeah, it's a popular song, but it isn't his best song at all. And I think from all the rappers that are actually in the song, it isn't the best. Like it isn't, and I think his thing, sort of his line that he says in the song, isn't that cool in my opinion. It isn't you know very special. It isn't that great. So that's what I personally think. So I recommend you to actually start and meet with maybe Represent or Don Cartagena, and then maybe just go up from there. Like I think all of his albums are something you could at least listen to, but you maybe like them, but I don't like all of them. So thank you for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time. And actually, if you have like a rapper that you want me to talk about, and yeah, only rap, because that's the only one, only sort of genre that I know a bit about, you know, say it to me, and you know, maybe if I know a bit about it, I will check them out. The next one that I'm going to check out is probably Big Punisher. Like there are rappers that I'm you know going to check out. I'm probably going to check out maybe Immortal Technique. That's a rapper that I listened to back in the day, not a lot anymore. Like you got K-Wa, you know, a rapper that I listen to a lot. I think that he is a very smart and a very lyrical, very great rapper in that way. So, but I will see that. So thank you for watching. I see you guys next time.